We're back, and this time around, we are dividing fractions. And you might find this a little bit more difficult, but if you follow a simple rule that I'm about to teach you, you can excel easily in this division problems. Okay, so here we go. Let's say we have a problem that says 6 divided by 1 over 2. Okay, when we have a division problem, we always have to multiply by the reciprocal. Okay, and especially middle schoolers, they will hear that word a lot, multiply by the reciprocal. And that is also known as something that I like to do, which is called keep change flip. Okay, and this can be identified as K, C, F. Okay, K stands for to keep, just like you keep, a dollar bill in your pocket. Okay, it stays the same, doesn't change. Then we have change. Okay, to change something, it means to completely change it. And then F means to flip. Okay, so let's say we have 2 on top and 1 at the bottom. We're going to completely flip it, so it's going to say 1 over 2. Okay, and when I have a problem like this, I always like to work fractions with fractions. Okay, if you have a whole number, go ahead and put a 1 underneath, because putting a 1 underneath does not completely change the problem. Okay, and what I'm saying is, here I have a 6. I'm just going to put a 1 underneath so that we can work with fractions totally. And here I can go ahead and start applying what I know about keep change flip. Okay, multiplying by the reciprocal. And I want some space, so I can go ahead and down here, I can use an arrow, I can use whatever I want to indicate that I'm using this space. Okay, so here my first rule is to keep my first number. My first number has to be kept. Okay, so I keep it the same, 6 over 1. Then I go to my next, which is division. Division has to be changed to the opposite. Okay, the opposite of division would be multiplication. Then here I have multiplication. Okay, let me write it a little bit bigger just to make sure that you can see it. Okay, I have 6 over 1 times, which was changed. C means change to the opposite, and then the last one is to flip. Okay, just go ahead and guess what it would look like if that was flipped. And this should be 2 over 1. So this would be 2 over 1. And then go ahead and apply the steps that you learned a while back, which is multiplication of fractions. And with multiplication of fractions, all you're doing is just multiplying across. And this will be included in one of the packets that you'll receive, or your students will receive. Okay, here all I'd have to do is multiply across. So 6 times 2, 1 times 1. So 6 times 2 gives me 12. I'll write that at the top. Put my bar to indicate that I'm working with a fraction. Then I have 1 times 1 equals 1. There you go. And I can simplify this, because we do know, especially when I have my top number big like this and compared to my denominator, if my top number is bigger than my denominator, usually you can go ahead and simplify. Okay, because we know what 12 divided by 1 is. How many times can 1 go into 12? Or 12 divided by 1 is, or gives me the answer of 12. So that is my answer. Let's go ahead and try another one that looks a little bit different, but still the same methods is included in this problem. So I'll give you a second. Go ahead and pause the video at any time you feel. Okay, next one, let's say it says 1/4 divided by 3. Okay, my first step, like I mentioned before, go ahead and make sure that both are identified either as fractions or identified as whole numbers. Okay, so since this is a fraction, go ahead and make this a fraction to make your life easier. Okay, so this is 3. So when I make this a fraction, I just put this 1 under it, because I have to still say 3, because 3 divided by 1 is still 3. So I didn't change the whole number. I just put a 1 under it to indicate it as a fraction. Okay. So here, I can go ahead and solve using my methods of keep, change, flip. Okay. So down, I keep my first fraction, which is going to be 1/4. Then I go ahead and change my sign, becomes multiplication. Then my next number or next fraction has to be flipped. That will become 1/3. Last step is just to multiply across. We know 1 times 1 is 1. 4 times 3 is 12. And then you always ask yourself, can I simplify that number? Or can I simplify that fraction? And in this case, no, I cannot, because my numerator is way smaller than my denominator, and there's no number that we can divide both by, or a number that is divisible by both, in order to simplify. So this is my complete answer. Okay, thank you. And that is dividing fractions, or dividing, fractions, or dividing whole numbers. Okay, still the same methods apply, which is keep, change, flip, also known as multiplying by the reciprocal.